"2:59 p.m. My house, Beverly Hills. It was a bright sunny Friday, and I was inside my house watching the 2004 Max's US Open for Supercross in the MGM Grand Las Vegas NBC. School had ended a few minutes ago. A few minutes later, Sam, Clover, and Alex waltzed into my house. "Hi there, girls. How are you doing?" I greeted. I wore a red retro-style motocross t-shirt with Ricky Camari's last name on the back. Underneath it was a 4-point. I also wore red pants. I had invited the girls over for a free night sleepover. "Hi, Matthew. Not bad, thank you," Sam said sweetly. She was wearing her short pink jacket, short pink skirt, and short pink flower skirt, and her hair was in a pigtail. "I'm pretty okay myself," Clover complimented. She wore a bright red t-shirt with long pants. "Just fine, thanks," Alex said. She wore a short pink shirt with long blue jeans. "What are you watching on TV, Matthew?" Sam asked. "The 2004 Maxis US Opening Supercross Night number 2, I responded. "I thought the US Open was for golf," Alex said, looking confused. "It is, but the other one is a Supercross race. It's one of the free races held later in the year, to which the riders get ready for the next year, in case if they're getting ready for 2005. I explained. "Always with the motocrosses, eh, Matthew?" Sam said, not looking too surprised. "Hey, don't blame me if I'm into motocross stuff. But yeah, I've been riding since I was 8, and I've been watching it since 1997, Sammy," I said to her. "I'm not blaming you, Matthew. I am just wondering if you watch anything else other than motocross," Sam said back. "Not really, just basically cartoons and game shows. I'm a real game show buff too," I said to her. "We'd better end this before things get on really a little hot," Sam said. "You're probably right, Sammy," I said. "Sorry if I got a little hot-headed about you watching too much motocross, Matthew. Will you forgive me?" Sam said, looking pretty bad. She was looking down at my bare feet. "Of course I forgive you, Sammy. Believe me, I may be tough and cool and sweet, but I'm basically the forgiving type," I said, caressing Sam's shoulders by brushing my hands across the fabric of her light pink short jacket. Sam and I hugged and kissed each other for forgiveness. "Not to interrupt you two lovebirds, but where are the other 2 races, and what are they?" Clover asked, looking clueless. "Glad you asked, Clover. The 2 other races are the pre-season races, to which they are both being held in Canada in early December. Almost every top rider, like Chad Reed, Ricky Camarico, Mike Lecroco, Heath Voss, Damien Huffman, Ernesto Foncia, Grant Linston, Daryl Earl Hurry, and others go to head on the start of the 2005 Supercross season. Those who go there are also in the contention for the 2005 World Supercross Championship. It's kind of like the regular American Supercross season, only there are 17 events, not including the Daytona Beach, Florida, because that isn't really sponsored by the local sponsor of Supercross, to which is Clear Channel Motorsports. I don't know what Daytona is sponsored by, but it has really come on Spies channel since 2002, I explained. "What's the difference between the US Open and the 2 pre-season races?" Sam asked sweetly. "When they're being held, the US Open is held in October, and the pre-season races are held in early December," I said. "May we join you, of course?" Sam asked, starting to smile widely. "Of course, you 3 are my best friends to the entire planet," I remarked. "We are?" Alex said. "Of course, Alex. Since he became one of us, he knows how to give us the equal share of friendship for the 3 of us," Sam said. "That's right, Sammy," I quipped. The girls then walked to my couch and sat down. Sam sat next to me, and Clover sat next to Sam, and Alex sat next to Clover. While watching, I wrapped my arm around Sam's neck and shoulders. My fingertips were moving gently around Sam's right shoulder blade. Sam, feeling the comfort at my fingertips, massaging around her shoulder blade, started to breathe silently. "This is comforting, Matthew," she complimented. "Thanks, Sam," I quipped, and quickly kissed her cheek, while she started to blush. "Thanks for inviting us to your place for a sleepover," Clover responded, when the race went to a commercial. "No problem, Clover," I remarked back. While Sam undid her pigtail, letting it fall, feeling a little hot, she slowly took off her pink jacket and placed it above her skirt. "Hey, Sam, this is for you," I stammered, but I was about to blurt out what I wanted to say. "What's that?" Sam asked. "This." I reached into my pocket and handed her one of my school pictures. "Just so you don't forget about me," I said. "Thanks, Matthew. You're really sweet. I'll cherish your picture till the day I die," Sam said happily. She leaned her head in and kissed my cheek. She even was nice enough to kiss me on the lips as well. "How sweet," Clover said. "Hey, I just remembered something. There's this Halloween dance at the school tonight," Sam pointed out. "Matthew, the three of us are going. Do you want to go?" she asked. "Oh, I'm not sure," I said, while I thought about it for a moment. "It's around 7 p.m., Sam said. "I kind of kept this from you, Sam, but I don't really know how to dance romantically like," I said coldly. "Are you serious?" Sam asked in amazement. "Unfortunately, yes, I am," I replied coldly. "Come on, I can teach you," Sam said, trying to look on the bright side. Sure," I said. After the race on TV was over, I took Sam to my room and she started showing me a few steps, but I couldn't get the rhythm, as I kept screwing up every time I tried. "Geez, this is going to be tougher than I thought," Sam said to herself. "Aren't there any dance moves that you do pretty well?" she asked. "Well, actually there are, but I have learned them from watching the 2004 125cc East Region Supercross champion James Stewart," I replied. "What are they?" Sam asked. "The water sprinkler, the dirty worm, but if I could do them, I'll still suffer a problem," I replied coldly once again, as I hung my head. "What's that?" Sam asked. "I'm afraid to do those moves in public," I replied coldly. "Are you sure?" Sam asked gloomily. "Unfortunately, yes," I remarked coldly again. I coldly walked to the small red rocking chair that my mom had bought me and sat down. "I really would like to go with you, Sam, but I'm afraid of showing my dance moves in public." "That's my only problem," I answered coldly. Sam was happy on the inside, but on the outside she was crushed. "What is that?" Sam asked. 5:41 p.m., my room. "You mean to tell me that you don't know how to dance and didn't want to live? Just tell me," Sam said. "Unfortunately, yes," I replied coldly. "You don't have to dance romantic like to go to a dance. You could just show off your own moves, and I'll just bust a move with my own moves," Sam suggested. "Even though I'm still afraid to show my moves in public, I'll give it a shot. I'll go with you, unless I have something to do with my parents," I said. "Great," Sam said, looking excited. "Oh, and one more thing. I can't do the dirty worm and dance in public, because then I'm going to hurt my stomach and my chest, because my stomach and chest touched the ground for a split second," I pointed out. "Can you show me an example?" Sam asked. Okay," I said. I took to my bed and lay down on my stomach touching the sheets. I used to move my body like a worm up and down. "Not too bad. You're right. I think it will hurt your stomach and chest on the ground at the dance," Sam assumed. "Now you see why I'm not certain about showing off my dance moves in public?" I asked. "Yes, but you're still going, right?" Sam asked. "Yep," I reassured her. An hour later, the girls took their showers at my place and I got dressed as well, as the girls got dressed for the showers as well. Sam wore a long pink dress that went all the way down to her ankles. Clover wore a long blue dress that went down to her ankles, as Alex wore a long purple formal that went down to her ankles. And for me, I wore one of my regular Chevy Trucks Kowalski t-shirt with Ivan Tesco's last name on the back, and underneath it was 29. Also the same long pants I wore, like a beach pair of slippers. "Are you ready?" Sam asked. "This is my first time going to a dance?" Clover and Alex asked. He's never been to a dance before in his life. He told me," Sam explained. Alex and Clover both went eye-wide. "Are you serious, Matthew?" Clover asked. I responded. We all took outside to Sam's car, and she drove us to the school cafeteria, where the school dance was being held. 7:07 p.m., Beverly Hills High Cafeteria. Sam, Clover, and Alex and I sat on the table for 4, and we just had something to drink. Sam Clover had a strawberry smoothie, Alex had a small orange smoothie, and I had a small Pepsi. Everyone that was attending was up and dancing, except for the 4 of us. The song that was playing wasn't really one of our favorites. An hour later, I heard one of my all-time favorite songs was Here I Am by UB40. I decided to stand up and dance, but this time, I wasn't as scared to show off my dance moves in public because that song was one of my favorites. I did the water sprinkler and I had to learn on TV. I even put my left hand behind my head and started to turn a full 360-degree right turn while sticking out my right arm. The girls were astonished by what I was able to do and not feel embarrassed. I had conquered my fear of dancing in public. Fear nothing. That guy can really do some real funky groove, Alex said. That's our Matthew, Sam said. I was even singing about the song as well as showing off my dance moves. I'm not a bad singer either, Clover quipped. He's good, Sam said, as she started to sigh in love. She decided to stand up and dance with me, but danced her own way. Clover and Alex decided to join Sam and me in our dances, but they all danced their own ways. Every one of us had a wonderful time as we walked outside of the school to Sam's car to drive back to the house. It was a little chilly as the temperature was about mid-70s. While she drove, she said to me, I thought you were afraid to show off your dance moves in public, Matthew. I stammered, but I finally said, I'm afraid to show off my dance moves in public, unless it's a song that I hear is one of my all-time favorites, and in that case, that was one of my all-time favorites, I explained. What song was being played? Clover asked. That was Here I Am, or Come and Take Me from UB40, I said. UB40? Isn't that a Spanish band of some kind? Sam asked while the cool breeze ran through her orange auburn hair. I don't think so, Sam, I responded. 12:38 a.m., my house. We all arrived in my house in Sam's car, and we were finally tired. I still hadn't taken a shower yet. Why don't you shower in the morning, Matthew? Sam suggested. No, I think I can last a little longer to take my shower, I said, trying to stay tough. Should we get him a Coke and get him in and stay him awake so he can have a shower? Clover asked. That sounds like a pretty good idea, Clover. But if I do have another Coke, then I'll probably won't be coming to bed till almost 1 in the morning, I pointed out. Matthew's got a point, Clover, Sam said. Maybe I ought to drink the Coke, Sam, since it takes me at least 4 minutes to shower and get dressed, and besides, I'm already thirsty, I said. Why don't we get a drink of water and watch a bit of TV, then go to sleep, Alex suggested. That's a great idea, Alex, Sam said happily. As the 4 of us walked to my house, we all went into the kitchen to get 3 cups of water for them and a soda for me. I took the last few sips, washed the can, threw it away, and went to my room. I grabbed my sleep clothes, walked to my bedroom and bathroom, and have a shower. The caffeine and the Coke really kept me awake. The girls finished their water and changed in their clothes. Sam wore a long pink nightgown, Clover wore a long blue nightgown, and Alex wore a long green nightgown, and I wore my hang-down MX Honda t-shirt with Steve Lamson's last name on the back, and underneath it was a 6. It was almost 1 a.m., and we climbed into my bed and went to sleep. Well, I haven't read any of these Totally Spies stories by Mat49324 in like a long time. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I haven't read a Totally Spies fan fiction in quite a while. And by the way, with the Totally Spies and Silent Hill, I pretty much lost interest in it, but I'm not going to give up on that story. If I have the time, I'll try and be sure to get another chapter of it out, but it's been suffering writer's block for a while, just to let you guys know. But yeah, just kind of want to update you on that. Anyways, I actually thought this was a pretty good story. I mean, it's really sweet too, having, Clover, Sam, and Alex, go take Matthew to like a Halloween dance, and It's pretty sweet. I mean, I really thought it was enjoyable. It's an older story. I mean, this story was written in 2004, so it's like, oh my god, it's so old. But I can definitely say this story was written by Mat49324. So I want to say you did a pretty good job with the story, Matt. This was honestly a pretty good story. I mean, I did spot a few grammatical errors, just a few of them. So I could really definitely understand this is like an older story. So, yeah. So, but besides that, I honestly still think it's a good story. And I did spot a few spelling errors in the story too. Just a few of them that I did notice, but I could definitely say it's an older story, so I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. But I definitely gotta say, it's pretty sweet. I really thought it was nice. Man, I haven't did a totally Spies story in like a really long time. I'm gonna have to, do more of these in the future. I just have been very busy, which is kind of why I haven't been able to get to these stories, because I've been super, super busy. But I do plan to do more of these in the future, though. That I can definitely say. I do plan to do more of these in the future if I ever have time. I might read another story of this, maybe like another Toy Spice story. Maybe sometime this month if I can. If not, I'll try and find time to do so. But anyways, with that being the case, that being said, yeah, this is just simply my own personal opinion on this story, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these, creepy, stories, and this is simply my own personal opinion. I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. It's a great old story, it's pretty good and well made. Despite the fact that there were a few grammatical errors, I still find this story to be, enjoyable. Definitely well made, and I definitely found it to be, quite fun. So I really have to say, really good story, Matt. Yeah. Anyways, what did you guys think of this story? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better. Feel free to leave me what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're brand new here to this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.